Girlfriend heard over an honest answer to a question. My 20m girlfriend 21f was saying how she was going to talk to my parents in an Indian accent and mock them. She was joking and I know she wouldn't do that, but I told her if she did anything like that to disrespect my parents for no reason, that I would dump her. She then asked if she did do that, if I would dump her, and I said yes. Now she is hurt because I would not talk to her first about it if she did do that, since she's saying how if I disrespected her parents that she would talk to me about it. I do not know what to do. Note, I am Indian and she's Caucasian.
I mean, your partner should not be disrespecting your parents for no reason anyway. That's disrespecting your parents and you. How would she feel if you disrespected her parents? It hasn't to do with different cultural backgrounds, just basic decency.
In my opinion, Shay was being out of line and you drew a boundary. Don't feel ashamed.
These are hard boundaries. If you cheat on me, I walk. If you knowingly disrespect my parents, I walk. I will not do these things to you because I fully expect to be dumped for doing so.
It hurts my feeling when you tell me you are hurt by my behavior. Huge red flag up. So she's hurt over a hypothetical situation where she would be clearly far over the line. It sounds like it wasn't as much of a joke as you thought and she just realized you wouldn't tolerate that shit from her. Tell her you just talked to her first. You've already had the discussion, so why would you need to talk about it again?
In my opinion, don't ask a question you don't wanna hear an honest answer to. Greater than hurt because I would not talk to her first about it if she did do that, since she's saying how if I disrespected her parents that she would talk to me about it. It makes a huge difference if someone does something considered disrespectful or offensive by accident because of cultural or religious or other differences. That can happen quite easily and was not the intention. Or if someone openly and on purpose mocks them by speaking in their accent in a mocking kind of way. I would say that is something universally considered offending to do.
Why would she even make an insensitive joke like that?
If she is throwing a fit over this, you're in for a rough relationship.
Why would you need to discuss it with her first before dumping her? She has to know that's inappropriate, especially given all the racism going on today. What would she be expecting out of that conversation other than an attempt to justify herself? Clarify saying that if she intentionally did something to disrespect your parents, you'd dump her. But if she inadvertently and accidentally disrespected them, you'd talk to her about it. That should clear things up. Also, you have to understand that the way Indians treat their parents is a bit different than some other countries in the West, so there is also a slight cultural gap here which could lead to an understanding gap, so do take some time to understand each other's POVs.
Why would you date someone who thinks racism and disrespecting your parents are funny?
She got hurt because she was joking that she would mock your parents and you said, "No really, I would dump you for that." Well, she needs to get over herself. Of course there are things you would dump each other over. Hopefully neither of you do them. It shouldn't surprise her that mocking your parents might be one of them.
I don't know. Perhaps she feels like if she did something wrong you'd just dump her rather than tell her that what she did was unacceptable and give her the chance to correct it. I get that this case should be obvious to her, but often hypotheticals are extreme. Also, my mom has a super southern accent, but I was raised in Alaska, so I do not. I often jokingly mock her because she sounds cute, but she enjoys it, and if I ever cross a line I would immediately apologize. There is a difference between the two scenarios she is posing. If the matter of disrespect is based on ignorance, kind-hearted, maybe you just know that some sort of behavior is offensive to a culture, then maybe you owe your partner the benefit of the doubt and you talk to them about it, giving them the chance to make it right. If however you maliciously disrespect them, then it's pretty straightforward, is it not? It's not about forgiving a mistake. Your girlfriend is suggesting that she should have a free pass to hurt you or your family for the lols.
So she's surprised you would dump her for being racist.
I would dump her too if she mocked my parents, especially upon the first time meeting them. You have nothing to apologize for.
She's not hurt, she's embarrassed that you called her out on it. Plus, she's racist. She made a racist joke about your parents, which effectively was racist towards you also.
Except her using an Indian accent would be more than just mocking your parents. It would be racist as well. Therein lies the difference between the two. But even joking about this is really upsetting me. My parents have lived in Aus for over 30 years, and my dad still has a pretty thick Singaporean accent. If any dude I dated even joked about this, I would think long and hard about the relationship. Just because I thought they wouldn't do it, doesn't mean it's still okay to talk about it like that. Casual racism is still racism and in my eyes a deal breaker and not okay. Edit. For some actual advice for you, you absolutely did the right thing. And if she doesn't see this, then there's a bigger issue here. Disrespecting someone's parents, then talking to the partner about it to explain your feelings, sure. Encouraged. But deliberately mocking parents and culture is more than disrespect. It's good that you set some boundaries and she knows where your priorities lie.
You did talk to her about it before breaking up with her. This was the talk.
I would suggest you dump her anyway. If she jokes about making fun of your parents, she has no respect for them, and very probably little real respect for you.
I'd say that you talk to her about it, preemptively. That should be enough.
I don't understand how she could be so hurt by that. Would she be okay with you being disrespectful to her family? Maybe she doesn't understand what you meant. Maybe she thinks it applies even if she did something that was seen as offensive by your parents when she really didn't mean for it to be. Sure, the example that led up to the conversation was about her joking about offending them deliberately, and I think most people who care about their parents would say that bad behavior is a deal breaker, but maybe she thinks you would dump her for something silly too.
Wait a sec. She wants a say in when she gets dumped. Nope. You have set a line in the sand. And it's pretty reasonable. Don't be a horrible racist.
She doesn't sound very mature. She wants you to give her a warning when she does something that she knows is disrespectful? You are not her parent and you do not have to put up with anything you do not want to put up with.
I think the fact she'd even joke about something like that is fucked up. You couldn't possibly do anything on the same level to disrespect her parents. Like, what the fuck are you going to do? If you found a way to make fun of their culture, they'd think it was funny because white people don't get othered.
There's a difference between being disrespectful and being racist, and she doesn't seem to get that.
I don't think she should be upset because you draw a line. It's quite silly of her to joke about it. Is there even a specific Indian accent, tbh? I feel it depends on which part of India you come from. I'm Indian too, and I'm Team U. I never let anyone disrespect my culture. It's so important to stand up for yourself.
This is me discussing it with you. If you disrespect them, I will dump you.
So she's upset because you aren't gonna enable her disrespectful behavior?
No BF girlfriend should openly joke about mocking your parents' accent. She should be respectful, and considering her own boyfriend is Indian, it's just rude. I'm Hispanic, and none of my relationships have ever mocked a Mexican or Hispanic accent to me. I am a Mexican because people do Mexican accents for anyone who's Spanish these days. It's disrespectful and disgusting, and she should understand that. Sounds like you shouldn't be in a relationship with her.
She sounds like a privileged self-entitled girl who needs a reality check. Disrespecting your parents is bad enough, racially mocking them is worse. It's like she's too immature to understand.
Nah. She's just being butthurt. Some white people just have the caucasity to think that they can say whatever as long as it's a joke. She's not used to someone telling her it's not cool.
Hard to follow up a lot of the awesome advice already here. But they are right, 100%. Her hypothetical situation would be unintentional on your end, while what she was talking about was intentional. It would not just be disrespectful, it would be racist. Would she like it if, in front of her, you talked like a redneck inbred? She'd probably get offended and dump your ass too. Honestly, stick to your guns. You're in the right on this one, and she is in the wrong. Side note, this is a good example of how white people, saying this as a white person, tend to be very ignorant of how and why racial stereotypes and propaganda are so offensive. Especially when they are in a position that does not experience it nearly as often as other races. Just a thought, but might be a good idea to try and have that conversation with her.
I mean, you're talking to her about it now and made a clear boundary. Sue the fact that she would even think it would be okay to mock someone's accent at all says a lot about her character though. That's hella racist.
Your girlfriend is upset because you won't tolerate racism. That's what she's mad about. You said racism and racist behavior is a deal breaker and she's upset about it. That's a red flag. Ask her why she is bringing up racist actions she wants to get away with? That's what she's doing.
Boundary drawn. Stick to it yourself and there is 100% nothing to be sad of.
Get out my guy. Leave.
I think this clearly shows the difference between races. As a person of color too, I would never disrespect my parents, nor would I date or think it okay for anyone to disrespect my parents' family. I find it strange that she's making it out to be bigger than it is. And just because she wouldn't react the way you would, it doesn't make it okay. Maybe it's just me, but I think she should apologize and try to be understanding and see where she went wrong.
You drew a boundary. I left my ex-fiancé without talking to him because he massively disrespected my parents. You set a boundary. You did nothing wrong. She's being ridiculous. She sounds immature. Don't be with people who mock your loved one's background.
Break up with her.
She sounds pretty immature if she can't handle the idea of being dumped for doing something so overtly racist and mean. I know you say she wouldn't actually do it, but it's disturbing that she thinks there should be no uncrossable lines. You're allowed to have boundaries.
So you talked to her about how it hurt you and set up boundaries for the future, and she got mad at you for not talking to her about it and how it hurt you first. That's some fucking wild logic right there. You're in the right. Best of luck. Good job standing up for yourself, by the way. That's gotta be hard.
I don't understand how she is the one that said the things she said and is now mad at you for being honest. How did you end up on the wrong side of that one?
This has probably already been mentioned, but would this conversation not act as talking with her first? You stated your boundaries and made it clear how that particular action would bother you. If she were to consciously mock your parents from this point on, she would be doing it already knowing the potential consequences and how you feel about it. She isn't entitled to an explanation or conversation when the guidelines have already been laid out. She's not clueless.
I wouldn't stay with her after even joking about it. It's not just disrespectful to your parents but plain racist.